Right, hello and welcome to lesson 2 of our introduction to construct. So in this lesson we're going to be looking at how we change the way in which a character moves using this platform behavior. But before we can do that, we need to have a little bit of space to investigate it. So just going to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to set up an area for us to move around in with a couple of objects to give the sense of movement. So first of all, I need to be able to place our ground blocks in a sensible manner. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to go to Layout in the project bar. I'm going to select Show Grid. This shows a 32 by 32 grid that is across the entire workspace. And then I'm going to click Snap to Grid, and that means that when I move objects, they will snap to that grid. They will go on to a point on it and stay there. Now, one of these ground blocks is not going to be enough to fill out the space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Control down, I'm going to hold it down, then I'm going to left click the ground block and I'm going to drag and drop it out. And I'll let go of Control, and as you'll now see, there are two of the blocks. I can do that for both by using the marquee tool to grab them and then dragging and dropping out. And in this way I can relatively quickly fill up the whole area that can be seen. So remember, as we said last time, this dotted line is the edge of our viewport. Now with that done, I can see everything I need to see. I'm going to turn off the grid visibility for now. Everything's still snapping to the grid though, so if I bring one up and do the same there, we've got clear boundaries, although one of them is outside of our viewport area. So when we run it now, it is possible to see our player within the bounds and get an idea of how fast it's moving, how high it can jump, and all that good stuff. Okay. So, let's select Mr. Box and have a look at his properties. The ones that we're interested in right now are the properties of the behavior that is applied to him, which is platform. So we have max speed. That controls how fast he can move overall. Acceleration. That controls how fast he moves from not moving to his max speed. Deceleration is how fast he loses speed. Jump strength is how much force there is behind his jump. So how much energy is put into the jump. Gravity is the force that is being applied to the fall, or the force that is pulling him down. Max fall speed is terminal velocity. That's the maximum speed at which he can get to whilst falling. Then there's the opportunity to give him a double jump, which allows him to jump a second time whilst he's in midair. Jump sustain is how much energy is continued to be applied as he is jumping. Then default controls means that he's controlled by the arrow keys, and enable means that he can be controlled using this tool. We can turn that off and he would just fall and wouldn't do anything. You turn off default controls, he'd fall and we wouldn't be able to control him. So let's have an exploration of what each of these does. So let's try doubling his jump speed. Not jump speed, max speed. So now he moves around much faster. Now I think it's probably worth at this point doing something a little interesting to show the difference. So 3, 3. I'm going to put him back to normal, and then I am going to clone Mr. Box and bring the clone in as well. They will both start at similar points, and we can make the change to Mr. Box's clone by making him go to a higher speed. And now we can see the difference. Okay. They're both being operated off the same controls. We can change the acceleration. 1,000. And I'm just going to change Mr. Box's Mr. Box 2's colour to red. That way it should be even clearer what's going on. Although I think I changed the wrong one. Yes, I did. There we go. We can increase the acceleration to 2,500. Sorry about this, I'm going to sneeze. Or not. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is I would like you to take a little bit of time to explore this, the ways in which you can change the speeds or the values of these different elements of control. So your different properties, your max speed, your acceleration, deceleration, jump strength, gravity, max full speed, etc., to get different effects. And I'd like you to save multiple different versions of this that show how that movement works. And to do that, you're going to need to be able to save. So, we're going to go to Menu, Project, Save As, and then we're going to download a copy. We're going to name it my first platformer and then this one we can call V1. Click OK and it will now download and you can load it up at any point. So I would like you to try and produce, through your experimentation, one piece that feels like it's on ice, one character that feels like it's really heavy, and one character that feels like it's on the moon. You can send those in to us. The website explains how, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you produce.